Welcome to the Elemental Lifestyle Podcast with Katrina Elkins, Radical Honesty for the Conscious Leader. I am the Elemental Leadership Mastery Coach, and I empower my clients to master the elemental forces of their own inner alignment so that they can live in their element. And today I join you from Big Sur, California. And I have a special guest with me today. It is my life partner, Brian Elkins. He's sitting next to me and we are having a cup of tea, listening to the waves crashing on the beach. Welcome, Brian.
Why, thank you. It's a pleasure finally to be on your podcast. Oddly enough, just for the audience, I just want them to know that I have not listened to any of your podcasts. So this is my first time to actually listen to one. So I'm very excited.
Yes, it's kind of a running joke in our, this podcast has been up for 4 months, and Brian just really sets me free to do my work and to allow this space. And so time restrictions and just all sorts of other things is just, I'm so excited for you to be a part of this, Brian, and for all the listeners to actually get to hear you.
Thank you. And one of the things we were talking about before we got on the podcast was the union of the feminine and the masculine within our bodies. And we kind of talked about it offhand and stuff off the podcast, but maybe it's good for us to kind of dive into that and talk about what does that really mean, that union within our bodies. We have a positive, we have a negative, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. And maybe you want to expand upon that?
Yes, and it is Wet Wednesday, so happy Wet Wednesday, you all. And it's just such a space today where we get to dive into this beautiful topic of what does the union of the feminine and masculine really mean? And wow, this could be really juicy and yummy, and it is full of a flow because it is Wet Wednesday. So we're just going to dive right into this flow. And I love this question because the union of the feminine and masculine is such an important piece for us to really live in full balance and harmony in our life. And this is something that I've been working through, as a mother, as a life partner, as that space of really showing up in who I am, in my authenticity, and to be able to find harmony in that. And so I would say, how does it show up, that union within the body? It shows up in the space of a person really being able to share their messages and share what is really their expression of who they are. And it's that real deep feeling of safety. And in that space, when you feel safe within your body, you're able to speak and express exactly who you are. And as many of you know, that's such an important piece of this podcast is sexuality, spirituality, and creativity and self-expression. So many of us have been on here to share those messages. And when you come from that space of the real union within your body, you can feel the masculine and the feminine within you. And it's a place of power.
I know this is Wet Wednesdays, and it's kind of funny because I think of more of a hard Thursday kind of thing. But when we talk about the union and stuff, I know that when we sold our house and we decided to start traveling, I remember that what I felt to me was a union was just the alignment of everything within my body when we made that decision. I know that when we made that decision, it felt right. It felt like it was in the flow. And I know that kind of feels when I met you initially. I felt that was in the flow as well too. When I first met you, I thought, man, this woman, I just love this woman. Everything just feels right about you. And I know that with other people, you kind of feel that, you don't feel that. There's always those things as well too. And I know we're talking about within the body of ourselves, but that emanates out as well too. When we see other people, when we meet other people, we feel their energy, we feel their aura, I suppose, as well too. And so we feel that from other people. We feel that physical, the emotional, the spiritual from others as well too. Even from a glance, we could feel that. And it's really fascinating to feel that. Because when you meet people, they're like, oh yeah, I feel that person. I know that person. Other people, it's like, not so well, not so much. So it's kind of fascinating when you talk about the union of the feminine and the masculine. We feel it not only within ourselves, but we can feel it with other people as well too. You feel that union as we are all connected within this universe. So it's kind of fascinating in that sense. And I guess going into that, why do you think that this union, not just within ourselves, but within everybody as well too, and within connectivity with the world as a whole, why is that so valuable? I mean, it's valuable because we seek it, because we want that union, we want that flow, we want that connection. So I guess my question is, we're seeking that from all standpoints, but why is it such a big deal?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love this question. I can go so many directions with this. So, I would say that when we get offered the gift of interactions with others, in that space, and, just recently, I was really aware of the space where I am really opening and expanding in the spiritual space of the union for me within my own masculine. And that showed up in a physical way. And it allowed it by another person. And it allowed me to finally say yes to myself. And to finally say, yes, I'm already complete as I am, and I don't need an external person to actually fulfill that need. And when we're talking about the spiritual level, I don't know if any of you have read The Forest House. It's a really beautiful book, and there's some stuff about the Druids, the Christians, the Romans, and it takes place in like 600 AD. And it's a fiction book, like it's not based on real, like a real story, but it talks about the priestesses, and it talks about the warriors, and there's this space of where they come together on the full moon, and they have their full moon ceremonies. So this is Wet Wednesday. We're going to talk about sex. So yes, so they come together, and it's this space of ceremony, and it's held as a space that's really sacred. Okay, so now within that story, there's also the space of the union in the spiritual realm, where there's actually no physical contact, and it's a spiritual union that takes place. And in that spiritual union, she opened up, the main character of the story, she opened up to what was like really possible for her in her life. And it's a really great story. You guys should all read it. And like, I really felt like when I was reading the story, I actually really felt my sacral activate, and it was like a real like turn on. Like, it just really was such a beautiful like electric feeling within my body, and it was just signaling to me that was already there within me, but I didn't know it. I didn't understand that it was already within me, and I thought I had to seek it. And then something happened this weekend for me. It was a moment where there was interactions with really incredible people. And in that space, it allowed me to really accept my masculine within my body. And it allowed me to actually feel what that feels like. And it's freaking powerful. It's just like, it's so powerful that it's now elevating me to another level of awareness of who I am within my body.
So when you talk about the awareness in your body, what are you talking about there? Are you talking about like consciousness, physicality? How do you feel that?
Okay, so I love this because for me it came out in tears, like flooding of tears. Like it was it felt like a homecoming within me. I mean, you saw me, Brian. I was like, my eye sockets were puffy and I was one hot mess. I mean, I was crying on the way to a photo shoot to have my wings captured, because for me, you know, and being in Big Sur here is that flying. So it's that space of jumping off the cliff and flying and using your wings and allowing that support of the masculine to be there. And when I went to this photo shoot, I felt that I had, all of a sudden, I didn't need all the external pieces that I thought I did. I just felt so embodied, and it felt like everything that I have been looking for in that space of desiring to fly is already there. And I wasn't aware of it. And I had to experience other people showing me that I already have it, that I'm already complete. And there's so many different ways we can go with this. But for me, it was really opening up and being honest with my sexuality that allowed me to really honor the gift that I've been waiting for to come through for a long time. And when I honored that and I allowed that real desire of the union of my masculine and feminine to really be expressed and shown, that's when I felt just so alive within my core, like turned on, alive, vibrant, like wet, wet in many ways. And that space allowed me to really open up to my gift. And yeah, you're probably going to ask about my gift.
Yes. What is that gift, by the way? But it's funny because you talk about that wetness and stuff, and I know that we've interacted since then, and in the sexual sense, and then just feeling that opening up of your body as well too. It's been pretty amazing in that sense. Since we've been together for about 24 years, it's been fascinating to see the ups and the downs of the physical sense when we do make love. Sometimes I feel, the tightness sometimes. Sometimes you can feel it truly opening up. It's kind of fascinating. We can see the ebb and the flow of another person's body. When you make love to them, you can understand them so well. Before we get to the question of the gift, I just want to note that it takes 7 years to know a woman's body, 7 years to know a woman's mind, and 7 years to know a woman's soul or spirit. So it's not a one night kind of deal. This is kind of a slow progression. You're getting to know somebody as well too. But that's an aside. So we'll talk about your gift. What gift did you feel like you received besides the gift that I received from your gift?
Ooh, did you hear that all? Isn't that amazing how the gift just keeps on giving in different ways, and it really gives in the bedroom? So that's the space that is really alive, right? When we can feel that openness of what our gifts. Oh my God, if more of us could be in this space and saying yes to our sexuality and being really honest about it, and really like really being honest about what it is we desire. And for me, okay, so there's a space in here that really wants to be shared. And so, God, and before I share that, yes, the making love has been so beautiful since for me, this union, like really started to take place. I feel like in when I had the earth orgasm, and like a lot of some of the other things that kind of unfolded, I felt like a deep opening, and then it's even more expanded now within me. And Brian's very, very happy and smiling right now. and so am I. And so the thing is, with this gift that I allowed, so for many years, I have felt many years, probably 6-7 years. Well, that's not many years, but I have I've had this ache for the land, for Mother Earth, because of some of the destruction, some of the things that have happened, and a lot of that has been the actual wars, deaths, murders, whatever, all these different things where the land has been a part of that, and also a part of, basically as a whole, the toxic masculine, I guess, in general. I don't want to generalize, but it's that space where a lot of the troubles have occurred. And so I have had such a huge space of awareness where I feel like my gift is part of that healing to allow. And so it was so beautiful. Many of you know Eagle Jules. He was on one of the past podcasts. Well, he did a Lakota fire. And in this space, I really opened up to my gift. And that was that I actually allowed, in Yosemite National Park, it was such a clear vision for me. I have clairvoyance really strongly. And I could see the Native American there on the valley floor. And this was in the middle of the night. The full moon was shining. And the rocks were lit up like candles, like the light from them were just emanating. So it was such a powerful place. And there was 4 of us. Brian was there and Claudette was there as well. And so we just really allowed this space, and I went into a space where I received all these images. I could feel the dancers. I could see their feet. I could taste like the wind. I could taste and feel every part of my being there. And they were with me in that moment. And it was such a powerful gift. And when I said I see the children dancing and playing, that is when their spirits moved through me to move on to the next space. So it provided I have wanted this for so many years, to be able to be a vessel of love so strongly that it can heal and allow this space of deep acknowledgement of the pain that was there. But then it's taken away in that moment when the light hits it. And so I am so grateful, because this is the work that I am bringing for the Elemental Lifestyle Live. This is the magic that is going to be witnessed by those who say yes, because they will see what happens in that space. What happens to the earth? What happens to our hearts when we actually heal the land? And I now am not afraid of that gift. And you know why I found it out is because I opened up to the honesty about my sexuality. It's tied together. There is no separation between sexuality and spirituality.
It's all energy, essentially. And it's just accepting that energy to go through your body, through your soul, to accept it, to receive it for what it is. So you talk about the work that you have to do, Katrina, and I'm kind of curious about what work are you talking about specifically in terms of for other people, for yourself? What do you have in mind for that other work?
I want others to feel this. I want others to know what it is, to make love, to open up, to know what the union of the feminine and masculine is within their life. I want you listeners to know and to understand what that means and how that is real and it's a reality. And I want Mother Earth to be experienced by us. I want us to experience Mother Earth in a different way, in a way that many have not experienced. It's that place of play. It's that place of deep connection to her heartbeat, to allow that openness within us that allows the healing for the planet. I believe that when there are many people who say yes and they're in one place and they're really, truly walking the path of their heart, there's so much that can unfold in that space. And then it ripples out to their communities, to the thousands that they touch in their life. So it's not just, it's the collective healing. And, for example, we gathered around a Lakota fire. So now this ripple effect of that is rippling out in so many ways. I mean, it touched Yosemite. There was a healing there. And who knows how many lives that will touch just by having that. And then our lives, and the lives of Eagle and Claudette, how that ripples out into humanity and where that goes. To me, that is the magic that I believe in, and that is my work, and that is what I know I'm bringing forward for the space of exploration, play, experience, and like real, true walking the path of what you say you do.
Wow.
Wow.
That's all I can say right now. So, I know that when we opened up, this is about 8 months ago now, it gave us a brutal honesty in terms of who we are, what we desire. And I feel like we're walking that path right now. And it's fascinating because I don't know the next step tomorrow, what that's going to look like. But I know that in this moment that I am myself, that I am who I am. And I think that's what Katrina wants to share with the world as well, too, in that sense. And do you have anything upcoming in terms of a program for this, do you think?
Well, yeah, the Elemental Lifestyle Live program, it starts in Mexico, and that's in Tulum, and that's in January. And I'm so excited because the website's going to be out here really soon to detail all the goodies. And really, this takes a huge commitment. So if you are a yes for this, it's a time commitment. There's 4 retreats involved, and I'm very adamant about it being that space of where we get to experience 4 live retreats. It's going to be in 4 different countries. And this is a space where we really get to be radically honest with each other. And when we bring our failures and our successes, our desires and our wounds to this light, there will be major transformation in many ways. And I'm going to be healing along the way, or not even healing. I don't even like to use that word. I'm going to be transforming and allowing more growth in my sexuality and my creativity, my spirituality. It's in my self-expression. I see this as a group effort because we each reflect all of those brilliant rays of light that we hold within our body. So I'm so excited about that program. And thank you so much, Brian, for this incredible interview.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your podcast. It's been new and interesting, and I'm excited to see what unfolds in the future for us.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited about what lies ahead for many of us. And our son just woke up. He just turned 5, and it is so beautiful to be here in the space of Big Sur and being here with the the beauty and the wildness. And whew, I am like on fire for life and what it provides and what we allow. And I just wish you all a happy Wet Wednesday. Many blessings wherever you are, whenever you listen to this. It is such a beautiful day, and it is always good to have that space of a radical honesty with your sexuality. If you missed last Wednesday's podcast with Bridget Flynn about being honest in your sexuality, oh my goddess, you've got to listen to it. It allowed me to really open up to the space that I am today. So please listen to that one if you missed it. And have a beautiful rest of your day wherever and whenever you listen to this. Many blessings.